Hello, gang. It's been a long time, and I apologize for that. But I'm going to talk about what this video is about, and at the end, I'll kind of wrap up with why I've been so absent, you know, with doing any kind of Ghostbusters or prop related news or whatever. So I wanted to talk about something. I did a trap video many months ago about what I had, and I was really looking forward to at some point keeping my eyes open for the Matty collector stuff. First and foremost, cheers to you. Thanks for tuning in. Love you. So I'm a collector, in a big way. I'm, things that I loved, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, RoboCop, Terminator, all that kind of stuff. I love collecting stuff. I love building stuff, like we talked about before. But the Matty collector stuff to me was kind of elusive. When Matty Collector came out, I think it was like in maybe 2010 or 2011. My son was still very young. My wife and I were still, kind of figuring out our ways. We weren't in the positions that we are now, administratively or financially. And that stuff was amazing, but like when you have something that costs $100, $150, $175 or whatever, it might as well had been $1 million at that point. I just didn't have the spare income to do that. I was admiring it and lusting after it on the internet, but I just didn't have the wherewithal or the ability or the resources to be able to go after it. So when Matty was coming out and you had stuff like the neutrino one, I think is what they called it, goggles, PKE, which I'm still, I still would like to get one of those, or the ghost trap. There was no way in hell that I was going to be in that position to be able to get that high end of collectible or toy. Now at this point where we're looking at, with everything that's going on with the world, that a Marvel Legend is going to cost $40, or a Transformers Voyager is going to cost $42.50 or $43, whatever it's going to cost. That's hindsight's 2020, but it just back then it just wasn't in the cards for me. But boy, I lusted after them. So when the Hasbro tuna box came out, I was like, yeah, man, this is me, be able to right my wrongs. Sold some of my stuff, got some money up, ordered 2 of them, got them, loved them, all that kind of stuff. And then we ended up like getting all these videos of people like talking like, yeah, well, the Matty's superior over it. And I think I mentioned on a video before, like I've messed with the Matty's, quite a long time ago, quite a few years ago, and nothing but respect for him. But I was like, oh well, I'm investing in Hasbro. I'm not going to have that residual FOMO or whatever of, oh yeah, by the way, the shirt, I just happened to put this on today. No intention to make this video. The Matty was just, in the back burner. I was like, this is going to take care of everything. Was well aware that the PKE was going to be an Afterlife style and not GB1 or GB2 PKE style. I think that shocked some people when they got that in. Or at least bummed them out to a certain degree. I knew what I was getting in. And I think I said it before, that thing's a fucking ton of fun. And I was more impressed when I had it in hand than what I was expecting. So that exceeded my expectations. But I love this hobby. I follow everything online. And, I kept on seeing like people saying, hey, listen, if they took the electronics out of the Matty, put it into the into the Hasbro. And I'm like, yeah, man. I was like, I know I looked at that thing, and I know from like people talking about it, like the pedal is hollow underneath. I'm like, blah, blah, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm running a train that's running too late before it comes up here. I'm not running a train, waiting for a train. I'm making you wait for a train. Running a train's a different thing. This is a family program. Anyway, I on Facebook Marketplace, like a couple months ago, someone put up a Matty trap. And it seemed relatively reasonable as far as the money goes, as far as what they go online, blah, blah. So I'm hitting, and the guy was excellent, and is excellent, like, back and forth. But didn't come with the box. He didn't have the silver sidebars. He had replaced the ribbon cable in the front of it, which of the pedal, which I know was shit. Everyone replaced it anyway. Pardon me for a sip. But, I was still in that mindset of like, I don't need it. What's the best deal I can get out of this? So I think like literally months go by, and we agreed to a price. And again, what he was asking was not haywire, not as far as secondary market, but this is a well used, as they came to find out. I'm sorry, pardon me. Ghost trap. So I have a Matty Ghost trap now. I own one. I am tickled with it. I think it is very cool. And as a collector, especially a toy collector, and especially a big, extra large Ghostbusters fan, this is super fun to have. But, like I said, it's well loved. You look at the front, he had replaced ribbon cable with just, a bunch of wires, and I can remedy that. That's no problem. The stickers on the trapdoors are in bad shape. No problem. I already ordered them from Moby last night. They'll be here in a couple days. Along with everything else. It was covered in, say, a 16th inch of dust. Took the time and cleaned that out. But, pardon me, I'm kind of burping there under my breath. Anyone who thinks this, and I ran through all, and again, I don't do like, hey, check out, this. You all know this. You all know how these things work. It's heavy, but that's a very loose ratchet there. This feels very, 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 very light compared to the HasLab, which I'm looking over there too, because that's where it is. A lot of the parts, and I'll try to put this up on my camera as best I can. The side plates, the top here, and the light's kind of catching it. I'll give the other side plate. And granted, I know this is like 2011, but look at yours. And maybe something happened, but they look almost 3D printed. There looks to be some kind of like swirly, unless that was just part of the mold to make it more look like metal or whatever. Anyway, what I'm getting at is this thing, and the cable is another thing. I'm gonna pull this whole thing apart and try to restore it as best I can. And if I have the time, I'll show that on camera. If you guys give a fuck. Is nothing quality-wise or build-wise. I'm not going to talk about accuracy or the light sequence or the trap sequence or whatever like that. This thing is nothing compared to the HasLab pack. I'm sorry, HasLab trap. And I'm already almost 10 minutes into this, so I'm not going to restart it and say trap instead of pack. I love this thing. I'm fucking tickled with it. All right. As a collector, I'm happy to have it. If this thing fell out of my hand right now, it would shatter into a trillion pieces. Okay. So I realize that, you know, people are doing all these mods, all that kind of stuff, but people that are having FOMO about the Matty, as someone who spent, you know, it wasn't cheap. Someone who spent some of their hard-earned money or sold some of their toys to get those, but I still had to make the money to buy those toys. Right? I mean, it's a snake in its tail at this point. There's no reason for you to chase this down because everything that you need and all the mods that you need to want to have done are much better on the Hasbro, in my opinion. Part of me has started to think about like maybe buying that Spirit one. That's like $179. But like, when does the fucking cycle stop? You know what I mean? When does it stop? You know, but you know, again, I say I hope to do more videos. You know, do all this. Oh, there that goes, all that kind of stuff. But also, the reason I got a great deal on this is that it's incomplete. Doesn't have a box, no instructions, no silver sidebars. He had upgraded to the Ben & Kent battery lid that had a V-hook. And he was very sweet. He gave me, you know, the belt mount to the V-hook. And if it hooks on there secure, you know, that's neat. I don't know how durable this would be or what kind of material this is, but it's neat, you know, nonetheless. You know, but I'm going to have to 3D print those silver rods on the side. Hopefully I can find a file, someone that's already done the work. But, and again, you know, I spent $20 in decals on this. On something that, as a collector, I fucking love. Because there's so, as you guys know, like, as far as, like, substantive things that are in the collector's market that have the ghost, that's not a fucking mug or a fucking... LED light or something that's, you know, has a lot of substance that bears the, you know, the Moogly logo. You want to go back to those old things and find those things. I'm tickled in having this. It's very cool, but you're talking to an older dude who collects toys, that loves Ghostbusters. I can't think that this would be worth your while to spend what the market is dictating on, unless you just need to have another trap on the shelf. And I realize that this has been like a fucking, you know, stream of consciousness, you know, nonsense thing about me talking about this stuff, but the HasLab Ghost Trap is fucking way superior. That's the canvas you want to paint on, in my opinion. Okay, I think I got all my thoughts out. If not, I'll watch this video back, figure out I fucked it up, delete it, redo it in 3 days, and make it look way worse, probably. But anyway, listen, I'm not looking for your sympathy. I'm not looking for your pity, but I want to give you a reason that I haven't been around. And I realized that a couple years ago, my dad died, and I used that, you know, all that kind of stuff. There's nothing I want to do more with my time, with Frank's time, than build shit, than build proton packs and traps and PKE meters, gigameters, all this kind of stuff. There's nothing more that I want to do. E11s and DL44s and everything. You know what I mean? There's nothing I wanted to do more than sit in my room and build and modify my prop replicas. Earlier this year, I'm going to have a swig, pardon me. My dear wife of almost 26 years got diagnosed with breast cancer. And I'm not looking for pity or anything like that. had a surgery. They found more cancer. We had to do another surgery. Had another surgery that had complications. Now we're to a 10-week convalescence. So I'm doing my best to work from home as well as taking care of my wife. So that interrupts all this stuff, like even cleaning the kitchen. My kitchen was so bad that I wouldn't want to have a neighbor stop by, because somehow the person who cleaned the kitchen wasn't there anymore. I'm sorry, that's a shitty joke. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough road to hoe, and I would love to sit here and chit chat and talk about how fun this hobby is, how much I love it, and I do love it. I do love it. And I miss my squad at Philly Ghostbusters. They've been so understanding and sweet. You know, I'm missing events. There's an event on the 4th at a brewery that I really want to go to that's doing a Ghostbusters beer. You know, I really want to go there. I really want to build my shit. I really want to, you know, make my skills better and help other people and inspire and all that stuff to really, I mean, what's better than making stuff, right? I mean, if you're in this hobby, what's better than making stuff, modding stuff? I mean, I'm old, you know what I mean? And I'll still wake up in the middle of the night, take a leak, and I'll be like, man, I did a fucking good job. I can't wait to see how that paint job dried. You know what I mean? How that thing turned out. Man, I hope a bug didn't land in that thing. But that's what I'm dealing with. And I say I love and appreciate you a lot in these videos, and I do. You know, and I appreciate the fact that you would even spend a modicum of time watching what I'm trying to put, which has no editing or anything like that. It's just me sitting in a playroom that is shit all over the place, that I'm trying to move around, that has a constant fucking, you know, aspect of renovation, because I live in an old house. Thank you. And I'm sorry if this rambled on too long or anything like that, but I just wanted to give the opinion of the Matty Trap. I'm tickled to have it. I'm super glad it exists. If you find one at a good price, awesome, because that's what I did. But don't hunt it down. You have a better canvas to paint on the Hasbro, if you ask me. Love and appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon. Hopefully I will get my shit together and start building, get my my shop together. Take care.